The Sublime Object of Ideology. This book is so fucking good. It's by Slavoj Žižek in 1989. This book does philosophy that really changed the entire way I read anything. I'm just going to go right into it as I did, with little to no introduction as to who or what the hell Žižek, Lacan, or even Marx is about or anything. And we'll work with it as we confront it. So chapter 1 is How Did Marx Invent the Symptom? The first subchapter, Marx, Freud, and the Analysis of Form, begins with an absolutely wonderful line. It goes like this. According to Lacan, it was none other than Marx who invented the notion of symptom. This opening line is so pregnant with implications/questions. I mean, who is Lacan? Isn't Marx an economics philosopher? And isn't symptom a notion pertinent to the medical field like a runny nose or a bad cough? So you can see immediately we are shown the interdisciplinary character that philosophy takes. And I cannot resist. This aligns well with one of Puck's aphorisms. Quote, when a person is bored, he's bored with himself. Interesting people in their daily lives are never bored as they find everything interesting. Žižek draws us full force into the world of contemporary philosophy, presupposing a lot of knowledge on the reader's side already, but I'll fill in as we go along. So next, Žižek begins with his investigation as to what the fuck is going on with this purported homology between the Freudian and the Marxist analysis. Now, the standard normie understanding of Freudian dream interpretation is, oh, well, we have dreams, but they're pretty chaotic and random, and they're chock full of all these erratic manifest content, the things happening in the dreams. But what patients want to know is, what does this dream mean? Or, what is its latent content? The dream thought. But this is too simple for us. What Freud's analysis uncovers is not just the, what does the dream mean, latent content, but what Žižek calls the secret of the form itself. Or, another quote, why have the latent dream thoughts transposed into the form of a dream? And this is what philosophy is all about. Normal people do not care about the why. They operate with the what that goes on, the latent dream content. Take a mechanic. The mechanic just wants to know that the oil is leaking so he can patch it up. The mechanic doesn't want to know why the car is leaking oil in the first place, which is to say the environmental, existential conditions outside of his prerogative, which allowed for an oil leak. At some point, he needs to get the job done so he can send the car away and get paid. And I'm well aware that obviously, he can ask the deeper questions, but the idea is that it's not totally pertinent to his occupation. So, the homology is found in Marx in his analysis of the commodity. First, you have the surface level of the commodity itself. It's just some contingent object which is exchanged. That's what a commodity is. The second latent content is the value, in the Marxist metaphysical sense, embodied in the commodity, which is central to Das Kapital. That is to say, of course, we cannot ever see value itself. It's metaphysical. But that's the point, is that it's the latent, unseen, but operative property of the commodity. So it's the second layer. And then Marx takes the third step to try to understand the deeper question of why. Why has value, with a capital V, assumed the form of a commodity? That's the third question. So bringing this logical trifecta back to Freud, Žižek explains that the translation of the latent content into the maniacal form of the manifest content of the dream, what goes on in the dream, right, is the unconscious dream work. And that's what Freud, Marx, and Žižek are after. It is this third catalytic agent as a vanishing mediator, which will give us the answer to why. Freud also calls this unconscious dream work the primary process, as opposed to the secondary process, which is the articulation of the dream in just plain English. It is this primary process, which manifests itself as the dream work, and can be discerned in the orgy of contortions and erratic transformations that is the manifest content of the dream. So again, there are three layers. The manifest content, what goes on in the dream, right? The latent content, the meaning of the dream, right? Or the dream thought. And then the essential dream work, which is interwoven between both the manifest content and the latent content. So the Freudo-Marxist analysis is therefore twofoldly negative. It goes like this. Fuck the manifest and the latent content. Why was the dream constructed in the first place? Or to put it in the Marxist form, fuck labor and value. Why are they interconnected in the first place, right? Why is value embodied in labor? That's the crucial question. And now don't you go on me thinking, oh, I hate Marx, he's evil, stupid, wrong, blah, blah, blah. I claim that there is real philosophy going on here. Philosophy asks the endless question, why? Not solely what. And it is this analytical logic, which is that real critical thinking that stupid universities say they provide students. This negativity, this tearing apart and separation of elements of analysis is fundamental to philosophy, and we must reclaim it.